I never thought my life would split open on a quiet Tuesday evening, but that's exactly what happened. Before the story begins, let me introduce myself the way I wish I had the courage to do years ago. My name is Nate. I'm a man who works with his hands, builds homes from the bones of empty lots, and tries to build a life with the same patience and grit. For 9 years, I thought I'd build a marriage that would last. Turns out I was just patching cracks in a foundation that had already crumbled. And tonight, everything finally collapsed. "You're sleeping in your car tonight," Elise said, tossing my pillow onto the driveway like it was a bag of trash she forgot to put out last week. "My real boyfriend is coming over." For a moment, I honestly thought she was joking. I stood there in my steel-toe boots, drywall dust still clinging to my clothes, sweat from a 10-hour shift drying on my neck, and watched my wife of nearly a decade dismiss me like a late checkout. She had scheduled this moment between her spin class and dinner prep, her efficiency both impressive and nauseating. "Real boyfriend," I repeated. "As opposed to what? The imaginary one?" She rolled her eyes. "Don't be dense, Nate. You know what I mean. Dylan is, well, he's everything you're not. Successful, ambitious, present." She glanced at her phone. "He'll be here in 20 minutes, so if you could move along." I picked up the pillow. "Sure. Wouldn't want to interrupt your evening plans." My sarcasm bounced right off her armor. Elise only heard the version of reality she curated, and she'd been curating our marriage into a fiction for months now. I walked to my truck, booked a Marriott room because if I was getting evicted, I might as well enjoy breakfast and decent Wi-Fi. As I climbed in, she called after me, her tone suddenly unsure. "Nate, you're not going to make a scene, right?" "Would it matter?" I asked. "Seems like you already made all the decisions." "I just need space to figure things out." "Right," I said, "with Dylan." Her shoulders stiffened, but she didn't deny it. She never denied anything that benefited her. I drove away watching her silhouette shrink in my rearview mirror, her face glowing from my headlights. For just a split second, she looked guilty. But the second her phone buzzed, the guilt vanished, replaced with a smile meant for someone else. The Marriott room was clean, generic, and painfully quiet. No texts, no apologies, no second thoughts. I ordered a burger, turned on the TV, and stared at the ceiling, wondering how love dies so completely that your wife can schedule another man into your Tuesday night routine. Around midnight, I checked my phone again. Still nothing. She was probably in bed with him right now. The bed I built frame by frame. The sheets I washed. The life I paid for. And instead of anger, all I felt was emptiness. Like someone had scraped me out and left a hollow shell behind. At 3:07 a.m., my phone blew up. 47 missed calls, 15 voicemails, 23 texts. Desperation in every one of them. "Please answer." "Nate, I need you." He left. He just left. "Please come back." "Why aren't you answering?" "He saw your picture and Googled you and left." "Who are you?" That last one, "who are you?" felt like a punch. 9 years together and suddenly she was discovering me like some stranger in a crime documentary. I wrote a message, "Someone you should have asked about before tonight," but deleted it. Instead, I turned off my phone and went to sleep. She wanted space. She could have all of it. The next morning, I stopped by the house early to grab clothes and tools. Elise looked wrecked, mascara streaked, last night's outfit still on. "Nate," she breathed, "thank God. Why didn't you answer?" "Thought you needed space." She flinched. "He just left. He saw your picture and Googled your name. And he looked terrified." "Nate, what did he find? What did you do?" "Why don't you look it up yourself?" I said, throwing shirts into a duffel. She searched my name, found nothing but my business website and some contractor reviews, and looked more confused than ever. But that wasn't my problem anymore. I left her in the doorway, reaching for answers she didn't deserve. Later, I met my friend Miles at the gym. He knew something was wrong the second he saw my face. "She kicked me out," I told him, loading plates. His reaction was a combination of disbelief and anger. But when I told him about Dylan Googling me and running, he frowned. "That's weird, man. What did he even see?" I Googled myself, same basic results. Nothing dramatic. That's when Miles mentioned the Riverside Plaza project, the construction accident 5 years ago, the scaffolding collapse, the guy trapped under steel, the guy I had pulled out. You think Dylan was there? I asked. Or knew the guy? Miles shrugged. Worth digging into. The next day and the next, I started cutting every financial tie Elise had access to. Locks changed, accounts separated, lawyer hired. My attorney, Patricia, was efficient and matter of fact. The house was mine before marriage. The business mine long before Elise came into the picture. No kids, no shared debts. Patricia called it one of the cleanest separations she'd seen. Elise would contest it, I knew she would, but this time I had the tectonic plates shifting beneath her feet, not the other way around. She showed up at one of my job sites midweek. Designer clothes, heels sinking into mud, trying to look composed and failing spectacularly. Nate, we need to talk. I'm working, I said, marking a stud. You can't freeze me out like this. I thought you'd fight for us. You threw me out, I said calmly. What did you expect? Her voice cracked. He's gone, Nate. He won't answer my calls. It's like he disappeared. Sounds familiar, I said, picking up my tools again. She left in tears. I didn't chase her. Survival sometimes looks like coldness, but it's really self-preservation. At the bar that night, Miles dropped the missing puzzle piece. Dylan Ross, 42, VP at a major development firm, engaged for 3 years to a wealthy woman named Clara, whose family practically owned half the county. And his company, they were the general contractors on Riverside Plaza. Nate, Miles said slowly, Dylan wasn't just there. He was the guy you saved. Everything stitched together in one silent, horrifying thread. He recognized me. He panicked. He fled. Out of guilt. Out of shame. Out of the realization that the man whose wife he was sleeping with was the same man who had once held up a steel beam to keep him alive. I didn't confront Dylan. I didn't need to. Instead, I found Clara, a woman who had no idea she was engaged to a man who built his life on lies. I approached her at her regular Tuesday lunch spot, introduced myself casually, and mentioned Riverside Plaza. She instantly recognized me as the man from the rescue photos, called me a hero, told me how much the accident had supposedly changed Dylan's perspective on life. I nearly laughed. When she offered to text him to help me reconnect, I nodded gratefully. 5 minutes later, my phone buzzed. This is Dylan. I called. He answered on the third ring. I just had coffee with your fiancé, I said calmly. He inhaled sharply. Nate, please, listen. No, I said. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to meet Elise, end things face to face, and then disappear from both our lives. If you don't, Clara gets every detail of your affair. You have 24 hours. You wouldn't, he whispered. Try me. I hung up. An hour later, Elise called, breathless. Nate, he called me. Dylan called. He wants to... And that's where I'll stop. Because the rest is a different chapter. A new one. One where I'm no longer the backup plan. No longer the quiet foundation holding up a house that someone else was breaking from the inside. Now it's your turn. Tell me. If you were in my shoes, would you expose Dylan to his fiancée or let guilt destroy him on its own? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you want more cinematic stories like this. Your engagement keeps these stories alive.